We haven't even seen Keanu Reeves in the long-awaited Matrix sequel and John Wick 4 and 5 so far, and yet the much-sought-after actor has already been signed up for 2 more projects. We're talking about the comic adaptation BRZRKR, in which he will not only play the leading actor and producer, but also the writer. Together with comic author Keanu Reeves conceived the storyline and published it as a comic for the first time earlier this month. The ominous title of the work is a spelling of the word BRZRKR, just like the main character of the story who bears the same name, or rather the nickname B. B is an immortal warrior who is condemned to find his way through the world's entire history for all eternity. He has been doing this for almost 80,000 years, which gets quite exhausting in the long run, obviously. However, a time of redemption seems to be in sight when the US government hires the warrior to win battles for them that are too risky for others. The price? They have to find out everything about his mysterious existence and provide him with the answer on how to end it all after so many years. Definitely sounds like a whole lot of fun and havoc. However, there's also a second project planned for BRZRKR, and that is an anime series of the same name. This is supposed to offer a different take on the comics universe and possibly even establish a whole new main character. Unfortunately, there is no information about a release date for the 2 Netflix projects, but Keanu Reeves should have enough to do with John Wick Chapter 4 and 5 for the time being anyway. The John Wick series is usually associated with a rainy night in New York City and a storyline that takes the protagonist to all corners of the world. The upcoming John Wick Chapter 4 will be no different, quite the opposite. As Collider magazine found out, the main settings of the 4th part are Berlin and Paris, with additional trips to New York City and Japan. John Wick and Keanu Reeves are at least very familiar with Berlin, because, well, the Baba Yaga often has business matters to take care of in the German capital. Keanu also lived there for a few months during the shooting of Matrix 4. What is entirely new about John Wick 4 and 5 is that creator Derek Kolstad will no longer be part of it. Michael Finch has already been taking over his duties for several months, and he's in complete charge of the screenplay. At the very least, a well-known face will once again take the director's chair, namely director Chad Stahelski. Furthermore, there's to announce that the previously planned double shooting of parts 4 and 5 is now history. Instead, John Wick 4 will be shot this summer, while John Wick 5 will be shot at a much later date, perhaps due to the pandemic. Fans shouldn't worry too much about part 5 though, because according to our sources, the film is still on track. John Wick's presumed vengeance after the end of part 3 can hopefully be seen in May 2022. The quality of the Resident Evil movies released so far is debatable. Either you celebrate the action-packed blockbusters, or you miss the horror factor and the thematic relevance to the movie game originals. Director Johannes Roberts has now announced the official title of the reboot, which is based on the 2 highly praised first parts of the video game franchise to be Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. In terms of content, the new project will finally put the past films and Milla Jovovich behind and return to its origins. Director Roberts, who has been in the director's chair for 47 Meters Down and The Strangers 2 amongst other projects, seems best suited for the job. We can only hope that the 44-year-old succeeds in making a fresh start and that he'll be able to recreate the dark, rainy atmosphere of the 2 video games on film. The international release date for Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City is scheduled for September 3rd, 2021. As Netflix announced on Twitter last Monday, a total of 7 new actors have been cast for the upcoming 2nd season of The Witcher. The 2 most prominent characters named Dijkstra and Rins will be portrayed by Graham McTavish and Chris Fulton. While the clever Dijkstra acts as the head of the Redanian intelligence, the powerful mage Rins presumably targets Geralt's foster daughter Ciri and the Witcher himself. Other new additions include the priestess Nanek, played by Adjoa Ando, Philippa Eilhart, played by Cassie Clare, as well as Fen, Codringer, and Balian. The biggest thrill of anticipation for fans will probably come from the aforementioned Chris Fulton as Rins, who's undoubtedly one of the sorcerer's most unpleasant adversaries in the book series. The mage is often considered perhaps not to be the most powerful, yet the most brutal and sadistic villain. He usually operates on behalf of Vilgefortz, who in turn has a good chance of becoming Geralt's main antagonist over the course of the series. Unfortunately, there is no news as of yet as to when Season 2 of the acclaimed Netflix series will be released, but until then, fans can look forward to the animated film The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf first. Between 1995 and 2002, Pierce Brosnan acted 4 times as the world-famous MI6 agent James Bond. Surprisingly for many fans, it has now been announced that we will soon be seeing the 67-year-old in front of the camera as Dwayne Johnson's adversary in the upcoming Black Adam. After many years of silence around the Bond actor, he will now celebrate his comeback into the highly anticipated A-list films with the role of magician Dr. Fate. In the DC universe, his character Dr. Fate has been established in the comics since 1940 and bears the civil name Kent Nelson. From an early age, the superhero acquired his magical powers from the old wizard Naboo. He taught Nelson everything he needed to know about the world of magic and gave him two powerful artifacts, a distinctive golden helmet and the Amulet of Anubis. Both objects act as sort of catalyst for Nelson's powers and increase his strength many times over. So now we will see Dr. Fate as Black Adam's antagonist. Though this doesn't mean at all that Dr. Fate is evil, since in the comics he's considered to be a protector of humanity from threats of supernatural nature. Thus, many fans are speculating that both of them will fight each other in the course of the movie, but ultimately will have to face a much greater force and will be compelled to team up. Therefore, it's quite fitting that production is slowly gearing up and hopefully we'll get first pictures from the set in the next few months. A release date for Black Adam has unfortunately not yet been announced. What do you think about the rather unexpected casting of Pierce Brosnan? Do you think he will harmonize with Dwayne Johnson in front of the camera, or would you have preferred a completely different DC character for the upcoming Black Adam movie? Feel free to write us in the comments. Next year, it's happening. The Flash with Ezra Miller and Michael Keaton will hit theaters. At least that's what many fans think, but as Keaton now revealed in an interview with Deadline, it could be a tight squeeze for his Batman appearance. He stated that he's very busy right now and that he has already called the executives of The Flash to ask for their understanding regarding any scheduling conflicts on Keaton's part. He's currently very involved in his current project and has not yet had time to strike a deal with the producers behind The Flash. Besides, he expressed great concern about the pandemic and getting infected, so he is always making his work dependent on the current situation. The whole thing seems anything but pleasant now. After all, many fans are eagerly looking forward to the return of the Batman actor announced at the end of last year. Regardless, there's also distinctly better news about The Flash because the role of the superhero father Dr. Henry Allen has been recast. Billy Crudup, who was originally planned for the role, is now succeeded by the morning show actor Ron Livingston. Incidentally, Livingston shares his parental role with Maribel Verdú, who embodies the mother of the fastest man in the world. It is a known fact that The Flash will be shot this year, although at present it can only be assumed how the matter with Michael Keaton will be resolved. The Flash is expected to be released in theaters on November 3rd, 2022. It seems as though Disney Plus is currently on a similar path as competitor provider HBO Max. One reason for this is an announcement by Disney which revealed the release of Black Widow and Cruella via video on demand. The two new titles will be available as VIP titles on the movie company's own streaming service at the same time as the theatrical release. However, users should refrain from getting too excited at this point because similar to Mulan, they will have to pay an additional fee, which can quickly add up to €20. Black Widow will now be the first Marvel film to be released simultaneously on Disney Plus and in theaters. The date has been set for July 9th, whereas you can already watch Cruella on May 28th. On the other hand, you will be able to watch the latest Pixar production, Luca, on Disney Plus without paying a VIP fee, starting on June 18th, 2021.